Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Show Football Show. Apologies for being just a little bit late there. I just had to quickly run for some water. Let me just change my camera here. Let's get into it. Leeds United have just drawn 3-3 at home against Portsmouth in the opening day of the campaign. We are going to get into it, of course. We are not the day any of us expected, if we're being totally honest. Leeds United should have won the game. I don't care. We can all say with revisionism and all that sort of stuff now. Look, we've come away with a point, but I still qualify and still state it's still not good enough. But it could have been different. We still could have gone for it. But obviously, if you win a game, you can be a little bit more forgiving. But Brendan Aronson at the end there, I don't want to be too harsh on him because he scored us the goal that got us back into the game. But he's got to score. He's got to score. To be honest, Leeds United should have scored so many times. Let's be honest. I don't know what the XG numbers are, but we hit the crossbar 3 times. 3 times in the first 10 minutes, then we get the goal. Look, the facts are, I think for me, we play. It's almost a little bit like, I don't want to say it. It's almost a little bit like Southgate in terms of when we go behind, we then decide to play, if that makes sense. You know, like I'm not saying the style of play, but we play well for like 10-minute spells. And then we'll go behind and then we switch everything back on. And then we get back in the game and then it's like, oh, now we're going to sit back again. That first 10 minutes was electric. I think all of us can admit in that first 10 minutes we probably thought, do you know what? We're going to absolutely smash these to pieces. Let's be honest. And then the Championship is unforgiving. They get back in the game. They manage it really well. I think the set pieces, for me, need work because, yes, they didn't come direct from set pieces, but they were on breakdowns after the set piece, so concentration not quite on it. Jayden Bogle, we need to have a chat about his defending, which we were told. I'm sorry, I know it's only one game, but we need to have a chat about his defending because he's at fault for the first. Meslier, come on, we'll talk about Meslier, but I know I've got Joe Blackburn waiting in the wings here, but even Joe, who's a big fan, must maybe criticise in there. We'll have to wait and see. But Jayden Bogle's defending, it's not great. He gives away a pen. People will say it's soft or whatever, but I said at the time that could have easily been a pen. That could have easily been a pen there. And then the referee did take an edge. He did end up giving the pen, and VAR and all that sort of shit. But to be honest, it wasn't a clear and obvious error, so it'd have been given anywhere. Yeah. So listen. Props to James for winning the penalty. Props to Strauch for scoring it. I thought Rutter was good. There was some crazy takes at half-time. I thought Rutter was good with that being his amazing best, but we expect Rutter to be up here all the time, so anything less than that, apparently, he's playing bad. I thought Mateo Joseph played great in the 9. The changes. Everyone talks about changes. He made them. Did they impact the game? Not all of them, but one of them did, and that was Brendan Aronson. So more of the same. I can't think of anything else to mind. So let's chat to Joe Blackburn's with us. There will be more other content creators arriving as well. Sorry, should I say? Big up to Francois Gonzalez. Big up to you for becoming a member of the Just Joe Football Show. Hi Joe, welcome back. I seen your face doing this a few times while I was talking. I seen your head in your hands. Talk to me, mate. What's your initial match reaction?
Pain. Welcome to Leeds United. We've got this for another 8 months. It was I can't word at the minute. On the Aronson thing, yes, he should have scored it. And I'm not going to disagree with anyone on that one. You should be scoring that goal. But 100%. The thought that I had whilst you were talking was, if he misses that chance in the 16th minute, are people as angry as they are right now?
But he's still got to score it, though. No,
he does have to score it. Yeah. But the amount of stuff I've seen in various comments and everywhere is people sort of losing it and being like, why did we play Aronson? It's like, well, he scored 2 minutes earlier.
They're wild.
Come on, give him a minute. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the most championshipy that could have possibly been.
Oh. That's Championship as an advert in a nutshell. Let's be honest. That's it. That's the Championship.
It's condensed into the purest form of Stupid league.
At the end of the day, right, you've had like a penalty that think they win it, and then we go and get it at the other end from a sub, and then we have a chance right at the end, and we make it like, oh man, it is. You're right, it is championship in a nutshell. But what's really, really frustrating for me, Joe, is I'm sick, and Jamie, I was just about to say, I'm sick of that though now. Like, I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want... For me, I want us to be front and centre from game week 1. Now, of course, we've not won. We've played a newly promoted side that are going to be a fresh breath of fresh air. Listen, I'm not trying to find excuses, folks, but Portsmouth did come and they had a go. You know, they played well at times. And they'll do well in the division over the course of 46 games. But we still should be beating them, especially at home. Especially at home. Is there anything that stood out to you that didn't go well? Like, look, at the start of the stream, everyone's saying "fark out." They need to relax a little. It's one game of football, but you know what's missing, bro? Is it just a continuation of the previous season? Is that what we're looking at?
Just to first address the fark out people, I'm going to run through their goals one by one. The first one is a combination of a mistake by Meslier, who isn't prepared for the shot, and that is absolutely his mistake. I'm not going to defend that because it's bad. Combined with Bogle being a little bit too deep and 2 of their players being onside as a result. Those are individual errors, and people who are blaming Daniel Farker for that, I don't understand how.
Yeah. True.
Second goal, thunder bastard. No goalkeeper is getting to that.
No.
Nothing you can do. Third one is a 50-50. I think the attacker initiates the shirt holding, all that sort of stuff, but it's one that sometimes gets given, sometimes doesn't. I'm annoyed that he decided to take half an hour to give it, but it is what it is. Yeah. I think if you look through it, throughout the game, we were probably the better side, and that is what Daniel Farker that is what Daniel Farker is there to do. He is there to put a system in place to make your team the better team, and then give the players the positions they need to score the goals. It's to build a system in which the players can work. So when it comes to individual stuff causing problems, the amount of people saying Farker out is nonsense to me, I think. Because it's
same to me as well.
Yeah.
Especially after one game. But
in terms of like concerns and stuff, I think there was one pretty big mistake in terms of the substitutions. And whilst we took James off, I think instead I would have maybe done Bogle and played James as a wing-back.
You think?
Just because he had a hell of a lot of energy left, Dan James, and you could tell the fact that he was happy to just like run at defenders still. And Bogle wasn't 100% convincing. I'm not sure if it's a not quite up to speed, not sure if it's a ring rust kind of thing, but bit iffy.
What I will say, Joe, it's not good enough, is it though? You know, we for me, the standards need to be here this season. Of course, you can't win every game, and of course, this is the championship, and of course, it's Portsmouth, and they're back after 12 years, and we've got all that to factor in, but to not win that opening game, especially talk to me about that opening 10 minutes. I know you were working and doing a watch along at the same time. That 10 minutes, you must be thinking, oh my God, we are going to slap these. We are going to batter them.
First 10 minutes, absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen a team hit the bar 3 times within 8 minutes at any point, never mind the first 8 minutes of a season.
Yeah.
And then you follow that up with, and I guess we've won a penalty in the 10th minute, and we've got a centre-back taking it. Brilliant. Yeah. But from that point, I was like, this is fantastic, wonderful, we're all good. And from that point, we sort of slowed down a bit. And it feels like we sort of lost a bit of shape, lost a bit of structure. It's like we felt a little bit too comfy.
Yeah.
Because you'd have, for example, Firpo popping up on the right-hand side, and it's like, I get that you do this sometimes, but could you do this not right now? Basically, is the sort of position I was in when it came to Firpo at points earlier.
A sea of nice yellow shirts, at least. I think that's that's
all matching.
That's the key take from today. Max, talk to me, mate. We've just been chatting there. It's a really frustrating end to the game, isn't it, when you consider he should have scored, but wow, look at this. I mean, XG just announced 3.20 to Leeds to 0.89. Which is insane, isn't it? It's insane. Yeah. This is the way, unfortunately.
It is. It's so frustrating, isn't it? Because people have a go at Farker and you say, oh, well, he's not good enough. He's not doing enough. But the manager can set you up to get in those positions and can do no more. Daniel Farke can't come and walk on the pitch and go, here you go, lads, look, I'll put it in the net for you and we'll go 1-0 up. Like he can only stand on the touchline and go, I've done everything I can do prior to kickoff, go out there. When we hit the bar 3 times in 7 minutes, in the first 7 minutes, and we haven't taken any of those chances, it's not much more he can do. He set us up to win that game. And look, I've just recorded my reaction. It's not gone out yet, but if I said basically, if we'd taken all of our chances in that game, all of the good chances that we had, Mateo Joseph blasting it over the bar, Nonto hitting the bar, the one where Jorginho hit straight into the goalkeeper's gloves. If we'd have taken our chances, we could have won by 5 or 6 goals. Conservatively, at least that much. If they'd have taken all their chances, they'd have scored 3 goals, which they did. So just be clinical and tidy up at the back because there's too many mistakes.
Can we talk about Meslier, folks? Because Max, I'll come to you. You mentioned 3 shots, 3 goals. Some of them can't be helped. The second one definitely can't be helped. No one's saving that. But can we talk about that first one? I know there's errors before it, and Bogle's playing him onside and that. But can we talk about that? He's got to save it, bro. He's got to. And this is just, I'm sick to back teeth for seeing it now. When I was one of his biggest supporters, and then even in the off season, I'm going, do you know what? No, let's go again. And then the first game, first shot, he does that.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I do think there has to be equal blame apportioned. Like, and you did mention it, the fact that there are errors leading up to it. Like the second one, it's an unbelievable strike, but there are, even in that goal, there's 3 points at which we could have done better before it went in. But going back to the first goal, like you mentioned, he's got to be stronger. It feels like it's gone through him, doesn't it? But he's not helped by the fact that Bogle's positioning is wrong to start with. He's not in that space to, like, the ball's come out and Leeds have gone, right, we can all get out now. And and it's like, hold on, the ball's already behind you again because Pack played that ball straight back through. Nobody's aware. Nobody's alive to it. I don't know if that's rust because you've just come back from the preseason and you're starting a competitive game or what. But yeah, I mean, look, I rate Meslier. I think he's a very good shot stopper. He just sometimes...
I disagree.
He has to have
one. He's not good shot stopping.
He has to have stronger wrists. I don't understand how that's gone through. Like, he's got to set himself better than that because it's gone straight through between his gloves and put them back.
Yeah, it's really... honestly. JT, we
did I miss the memo here, gents?
I know, yeah. You got a yellow top at least. That's the main thing, isn't it?
What's going on? I feel left out.
You're not wearing your uniform.
Talk to me, JT, just on your initial reactions. Can you
I mean, there's one thing on everyone's flipping mind, isn't it? Brendan Ronson comes back with 6 pounds of muscle, 6 pounds of charisma by the looks of things. I'm sat there saying, listen, there's one thing I was saying at the end of the first game of last season. I'm like, listen, the one thing we have is individual quality, but our team play is just not quite there. And today I'm saying the opposite. Team play is good. The triangles are moving around. It looks like the team knows how to flow better. We're taking some of the positives from preseason. It's looking good. But we're missing that piece of individual quality. Out of nowhere, Brendan Aronson cuts in, jinks inside, absolute half chance, rifles it. 2 minutes later, how has he missed that? I don't understand how he can slot one when there's about 3 defenders in his way and he cuts in and it's an absolute half chance. And then he has arguably the best chance of the game and misses it. But I'm relatively positive. You guys seem a little bit downtrodden from what I'm seeing, I'm guessing. But obviously the finish was poor at the end. And that's the only thing that's kind of left me down a bit. But I do take positives away from the performance. I thought the way we played was good. I liked the way the team was flowing. I liked the way we used the width early doors with Dan James and Nonto, the overlapping runs from Bogle and Firpo, as you touched on yesterday, Joe Blackburn, that is. You were saying that that's positive. I thought we used that really, really effectively. I liked the way that Dan James and Nonto are actually switching wings as well. I thought Dan James kind of dipped out of the game come the second half, but early doors, I thought we looked intense, we looked sharp, we looked fresh, but we just didn't take our chances, and it's typical Leeds United. And listen, Portsmouth didn't really create many great chances in the game, if I'm being honest. It was a lot of half chances. Their goals were all comical. Their first goal from Meslier was a fucking disgraceful save. I know I've been the one coming on here defending him all the time.
Bro, it was
What
bad,
the hell
man.
was...
It was bad.
It was awful. And I have to apologize to you, Joe, for defending him so vociferously when he's going and doing something like that. The second goal is a 40-yard flipping screamer, so can I complain too much about that? And then the third one, do you guys think it was a pen? I think, listen, it was harsh, but what's he fucking grabbing his neck? He's trying to rear naked choke him. You can't do that in the box.
Same, bro. Let's talk about that, because everyone's mentioning in the chat. Can we talk about Bogle? Because today, I'm worried about him defensively. I know it's only one game. But the reason I am as well is because I've been told this on a number of times by Sheffield United fans, and you think it's salt. But when you actually see it today, I went, oh, yeah, I'm not too sure about
it's his... I think his one-on-one defending is good. Like, his actual technical standing up against an attacker, a winger, is good defending. He will actually make a tackle. I think it's his positioning that's bad. I think he's not in the right place at the right time when he's zonally defending. I think he's good at going forward. Look, he set that Aronson chance up that he missed at the end, didn't he? He was on it like a flash, and he took the ball forward and he played the good final pass into Aronson, did everything he could. I think it's his positioning, and I think that's something that can be worked on. I really do think that's something that can be worked on. His actual natural skill at one-on-one defending and taking the ball off someone is pretty good. I think he's just standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. Surely that can be coached.
Yeah, you would hope so. You definitely would hope so. Have you got any thoughts on Bogle, Joe?
Roughly the same, to be honest with you. It feels like, and you got to remember, like on the Sheffield United point, like their fans will have had that opinion of him because they are coming off a season where they famously conceded a shitload of goals every single week, and every single one of their defenders looked awful defensively. So it'd be really hard for him to look quite good in that system when defending. But I think on an individual level, he's again decent at that one-on-one stuff, and it can be coached into him. But it is initially a little bit of a concern about the fact that when there were issues, it tended to be coming from him. The penalty thing, I'm still a bit on the fence about it. If the ref would have happily immediately made a decision, sure, but it's the fact that he sort of took his time and was like, well, it makes me think that he wasn't entirely convinced either way either. I don't know. I think it's a little bit early for me to say that he's real bad defensively, because everyone can have a bad game. If it happens to happen in the first match of the season, then it feels a bit harsh to tar him with that brush.
But it was just stupid, though, wasn't it? It's just stupid.
Yeah,
it was just
it's tough to get drawn into it.
You don't put your fucking arm there, pardon my French. You don't grab someone's neck. Yeah, it was a light penalty, but you don't give the player the opportunity to do that. You're taught that as a child. Now, ironically, I was seeing people telling me he's like ailing light a little bit, Jayden Bogle, and he did a couple of moves that reminded me a little bit, where the nutmeg, where he made the cross, where he kind of opens his body up, tips it with the inside of his foot. And it just seems to be typical Leeds. Aside from Firpo, he's the only one that breaks the rule with this. We seem to be able to buy fullbacks that can attack well, but defensively seem to be going missing a little bit. But offensively, I thought he added a lot. I know your bread and butter is made defensively as a fullback, but that can be worked on. And listen, we are in the Championship. There isn't as much individual quality coming at you as there is in the Premier League. So for the majority of games, unless if you're playing the top 5 or 6 teams, you're not going to be tested as much coming at you on the wings. There's not as much quality. So you can kind of be covered and bailed out by an Ampadu dropping deep or by Rodon coming over to cover you. You can be covered in that way. So I don't think it's as big of an issue as people may be leading to believe early doors. But going forward is the part I would say I was quite impressed with him. I liked his tenacity. I thought his his end ball was sometimes a little bit wayward. That I would want to be fixed relatively quickly. I think he does need to work on his decision making a little bit in terms of in the final third. But overall, I think it's too early to tell, because he's still fitting into a new team. He's still learning to adapt to the players around him. And when you're in that fullback position, you need time to adapt. And I know Rodon, a lot of people liked him when he first came in. I wasn't 100% convinced of him. I thought he made quite a few mistakes, but you've seen as he's gelled with the players around him, I mean, he's just evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved. And I don't see why Bogle can't potentially do the same.
I think that's fair. Let's talk about some good things from today's game then, folks. What can we talk about Mateo Joseph? Because I thought he did really well in his first game. Yes, he didn't score, but I thought his hold-up play, the way that he dealt with some very, very championshipy, physical-esque centre-backs, and he dealt with them really well and showed that he's up for the fight on a number of occasions. I thought he was really good. Rutter, I thought was good. I think we need to, as a fan base, maybe be mindful that Rutter can't always be 10 out of 10. I think if we don't see him doing crazy things, someone says he's shit. You know, I had someone in my chat saying get him off at half time, and I was just like, this is so wild. So he was good. Who else? I mean, Nonto, bit in and out, scores a goal. I'm just trying to think. Dan James. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit meh, even though we scored 3. Was it a little bit meh, or am I being too harsh?
What, the performance?
Yeah, like from certain individuals, yeah.
I think it changed. I think the second half it was a bit meh. I think if you look at the first half an hour, like we hit the bar 3 times in the first 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we were all over them. And that's what I'm saying. Like Dan James, I thought was really impressive and energetic in the first half, but in the second half, his performance did seem to dip and it did seem to fall off. And this is what I'm saying about us needing to invest in the transfer market, because we need a couple of key additions. We need another wide man desperately, I think. We need someone to come on that can rejuvenate things in there. We need another midfielder. Rothwell, when he came on early to save, was not impressing me in the slightest in there, but obviously too early to say still. But I think you're seeing that when certain players' performances drop, you look around and there aren't too many to bring in that could necessarily change it. I think that's a bit of a problem. But listen, I think the performance just dipped a bit in the second half. That's all. But if you look at overall, we should have cakewalked that game. Let's be real. And Brendan Aronson scores that goal. We nick a win. We're all looking very different right now, aren't we?
Yeah. No, I think this is fair. It is. Let's talk about midfield. Gruev, Ampadu, I've seen some takes online. Max saying that he's almost playing too deep at times and therefore blocking. This is what Jer and Andre have been saying online. A few people have mentioned it in the chat. I think someone just mentioned it there. About maybe Ampadu playing a little bit too deep. Are we going to get enough from Gruev going forward? Here we are. Slows it down. I mean, he's not technically limited. That is such a wild take. But yeah, wow, yeah, much better than Gruev. Sorry, I'll take the first bit about him maybe dropping too deep, but the rest of that's wild, bro. Go on, Max.
Yeah, I think, look, it depends who you're playing against, doesn't it? I think in the preseason games, we're kind of seeing Ampadu and Gruev both be really, really high up the pitch, trying to pack on the pressure. And whilst they might have been doing that in the early stages, when we did drop off a little bit, Portsmouth weren't exactly sitting back on the edge of their own box praying for us not to score. They were trying to play a little bit higher up the pitch. They weren't packed in playing a low block as much as you might have thought they might be. But Leeds at times are going to have to play the ball out from the back, and Ampadu's job is to go and help out Strauch and Rodon, because otherwise Strauch and Rodon are stood there looking forward, seeing a wall of blue midfielders and no one to pass to. So Ampadu has to come and get the ball, because when he does, that brings a Pompey midfielder with him. So then that might open a bit of space for a Gruev to go and stand in that space. It might have opened a bit of space for Jorginho to come and receive the ball, which is why you sometimes see our wingers and our attackers dropping deep to come and receive the ball when Ampadu's dropped deep. It's trying to move the opposition around so that we can play through the lines. Ampadu has to be deep sometimes, because otherwise Leeds aren't going to be able to keep possession and play the ball. That's why you have teams like, let's not say a particular team, but like a low block team might have the two at the back, and when the ball gets to them, they lump the ball long because they've got no options. Whereas because we're trying to play out from the back, Ampadu has to come back and support. But you did see him putting himself around. He's basically, look, imagine it was back in the Bielsa days and you're saying Calvin Phillips is too deep. That's what you're asking for.
True.
That job is to break up the play in there and play the ball forward. Leeds fans are asking for more goals from midfield. They're asking for us to be more positive from our midfield. So therefore, Gruev is playing a little bit higher whilst Ampadu's playing a little bit deeper. You can't have everyone play high at all times. Otherwise, you're going to concede a load of goals. So Ampadu, that's his job at the moment. If we're playing against a team who might sit back a little bit more, you might see him like he was in pre-season, where we're higher up the pitch, really putting pressure on. But at the moment, that is his job to do that in that game. So it's not that he's doing anything wrong. He's actually doing what he's been asked to do and doing a good job of it as well.
Any thoughts, Joe, on the midfield? Do we need... Because we wanted subs as well, but to be honest, when they came on, there's only really Ampadu you could say. I don't think any of them actually did much, Rothwell included, actually.
Aronson did score a goal.
Yeah, I said that. I said apart from Aronson.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said Ampadu, so I got a little bit
Did I
confused.
say Ampadu? I meant
Yeah.
Aronson, sorry. My head's hot, I'm tired.
That's
annoyed.
fine.
Well, of course you're hot, Joe. You've been playing left back for them for 90 minutes.
That's all I've had in my chat, bro, you know.
Is it?
Yeah. Gave away the penalty. I tried to help us, didn't I? You know what I mean? And we still fucked it up. It is what it is. Go on, Joe, sorry.
Yeah, I think another midfielder would definitely help, just to give us that little bit more of an option. Because, like, whilst Aronson can sort of do that and drop into a sort of aggressive 8 sort of job, that means that you've not got him as an option out wide, which he did reasonably well. Was he playing out wide, or was he a sort of 10? Because I think we went to that weird sort of like fluid triple 10s-y thing after we made the changes.
Who's
but
that, sorry?
Aronson can drop into a sort of midfieldy role if it comes to it, but another midfielder that is able to effectively progress the ball would be really, really helpful to put in there just in case, because it feels like at points it might be helpful to go, right, okay, rather than 2 in the midfield, let's chuck in a third, properly get control of it, and then we'll just have a line of 3 in front just doing their thing. But yeah, it's one of those games that's quite hard to break down, because the entire thing we were like, wow, we've got a lot of the ball here and we're creating plenty of chances, and oh no, we've not scored again.
We didn't create nothing in the second half by the goal.
Not much, no. But like looking at sort of the overall numbers, like
we had some good chances. Joseph missed an absolute sitter in the second half. I have to say.
There was that one where like 3 or 4 yards out, it flashed across and Joseph didn't quite get his head on it.
Yeah, and there was the one where he got it and he was literally 1-on-1 and he blazed it straight down the middle. It looked like it went over. We got a corner from it.
Right, and it was saved. Sorry,
gilt edge chance there. I can't lie. Listen, I'm not even hating on him.
No,
you touched on him before. Listen, the one thing I will say about him, he looks hungry and he looks determined to score. And that's what I think we've missed. Not only the pressing going forward, but he was a bit selfish today, you know, in that when he got the ball, there was one time James intercepted it or pressed the ball off them. And the second he got it, he drove forward, took a shot. I don't care that it was saved. I don't care that it wasn't the best shot. He was hungry to score, and he had that kind of tunnel vision to kind of score. Having said that, he was a little bit profligate. One of them was offside as well. He missed a big chance that he pressed and earned, and that one was a big chance. I think Bamford had a decent one where he flashed it across. So we had, and then obviously Brendan Aronson missed a sitter. So we had 2 or 3 good clear-cut chances that we didn't take in the second half, and that's 2 or 3 more than Portsmouth. And this is what I'm saying, man. We need some people that can actually take the game by the scruff of the neck. Nonto a couple of times. He had his great goal where he cut inside early doors and ripped it near post. But there was so many other times he had where he did that same near post shot about 2 or 3 times after. And if that, I'm just thinking, that is a Somerville special right there. If that's Somerville, he's bending that far corner and we're getting 2 or 3 goals from that. Somerville, and that's what I mean. We just need that one bit of magic, because as you said, Rutter isn't going to be able to pull it out of his hat every single game. And he lost me some money, mate. So, you know, I bet on him to score, the cheeky bugger.
Are we potentially being too critical? Because I can't lie to you, I'm sat here, right? And I've already had a look at the next week and I think, fucking hell, we've got Borough and West Brom. Then we've got Wednesday. And I'm like, oh God, like this could be long. Like we need to be winning every game. I'm sorry.
I just had a check of something, right? Because I saw someone say something that I thought was pretty wild in the chat. It was along the lines of drawing to Plymouth, you'll never get promoted doing that. Had a look at Ipswich's matches from last season because I was curious, because obviously you're not going to get points from every single match that you feel like you need to. In consecutive games last season, Ipswich dropped points to Birmingham City, drawing 2-2, who got relegated, and Rotherham 2-2, who got relegated. You're going to drop points. It's okay. Elland Road isn't burning to the ground right now. We will be fine. 90 minutes of football have been played out of a 46-match season. The people who are just tempted to throw everything in the bin and start again, let's pull it back a bit, think a bit more rationally, and think, okay, what are the actual solutions to the problems, and what are actually the problems, rather than it's all gone, it's all done.
What were the problems for you today then, Joe? Or wasn't there any?
It feels like...
Is it just finishing?
A bit of it's finishing, a bit of it is there were a lot of moves that we were slowly building up from the back, and one of the key passes that looks like it would have cracked them open just wasn't there. There was one in the second half that I noticed. Was it the second half or first half? Either way, Rodon played a through ball out to the left-hand side to either Nonto or Firpo. They started running onto it, and it was just a little bit too heavy for him. And the number of times that would happen and we break down a move a little bit too early was an issue. And I'm not sure whether that's a rust thing, whether that's a consistency thing, but I don't know, because I admit I ain't got no coaching badges. 90% of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's going to be a case of don't scrap it all and start again. Make the tweaks where things are broken, and then things will sort of build from that point.
An attacking 8 is probably what's needed, right? Like someone instead of Gruev. Obviously, he doesn't feel Rothwell is going to be his starter. So
yeah.
Someone like
what a great
Lucic,
signing! What a great signing within 1 second. Yeah, he's not going to be a starter, mate. You know, phenomenal recruitment from the 49ers there. No, listen, I think to quote you, Joe, we are maybe throwing the baby out of the bathwater a little bit here. I think.
Yeah,
but I don't think there is even drastic changes that need to be made. We just need a little bit more individual quality and to finish the game. Because listen, I mean, you're looking at West Brom and stuff, and then you're saying like, "Oh, you're a bit fit." No, we'll smack these teams. Look at this. We battered them today. Why are people not acknowledging this? Let's have a little look. We drew 3-3. That doesn't say anything. Look at the stats, man. 68% possession to 32. 3.2 XG to 0.89. 5 big chances. 5 big chances to 2. 22 shots to 5. We made 1 save. 1 save the game. And I'm pretty sure it was that one where Meslier palmed it into his own goal. They made 7. We had 12 corners. Like, we battered them. We battered them. I don't know if I'm watching a different game. We battered them. We just didn't have the quality to finish it. And that's a newly promoted side who have a lot of incentives to beat us. They're an unpredictable asset. They made a lot of new signings. It's the first time they've been in the championship in 12 years. It's not an easy game, and we took them to the cleaners. We just didn't have the quality to finish the game off. So I think people are jumping a little bit too soon. I think there are a lot of positives about it.
It feels like a continuation of last season.
I'm gonna ask a quick question to the people in the chat who are like, all that matters at the end of the day is the final result. If you're looking a few seasons ago, where Leeds beat Man City 2-1 with 10 men, are you, if you're a Man City fan, saying the whole thing's screwed, it's done, the performance doesn't matter, how we played doesn't matter? No, because behind it, you know, okay, we've got decent players, the system is good, we are creating lots of chances, it's individual bits that are letting us down right now. It is I'm not saying that we are Man City at all. I'm making the sort of equivalency of.
But it's
one result doesn't define
them
things.
Winning the previous 4 games and winning the next 5 games, whereas we're on the back of a loss and not going up. And
the equivalency does make sense for Man City, because if you just go relatively to the leagues, look, we're the favourites to win the league. So the thing is as well, look, we drew the last season. We drew the first game of the season 2-2, and we finished on 90 plus points. It doesn't like it. We won 1 out of 5, I think, of our first games last season, and we still got 90 odd points. Any other season other than last season, it's enough to get you promoted. And Farke, in every full season he's had in the Championship, has got more than 90 points. And look at the squad that he's got. I think you start in a new campaign, it doesn't always go the most swimmingly. And I think there's 3 takeaways from the game. I think there's 3 things we need to improve on. Being clinical in front of goal, which is something that's always plagued us. Just take your chances. The second one is defensively, positioning wise, we aren't always in the right positions at the right time. Sometimes, like their goal, their second goal, yes, we go, okay, it's a world, there's nothing you can do about it. But the ball comes over the top, Rodon gets the wrong side of his defender and pulls his shirt. That's your first mistake. Then you've got a free kick. Second mistake is
that, he misjudged the flight of the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So that's his position. So that's number one. Then the ball gets whipped into the box. Terrible cross. Joe Rodon's got a free header towards the right-hand side of the box. He heads it straight back into the middle of the pitch where all of their defenders are, where all of their defenders and midfielders and stuff are. Heads it straight back to them. And then number 3, nobody gets close enough to the player. He actually takes quite a bad touch before he does that. And that's why he hits it, because it just sets up nicely for him by accident because it comes off his thigh. Nobody gets close enough in time and he scores. So there's 3 things that we could have done to stop that. And a lot of people will go, okay, well, that's a worldy strike. Yes, it was a brilliant strike, brilliant technique, but there is something we could have done about it 3 times before it happened. So there's just defensive things that need tidying up as well. And then the third thing as well is, again, just making sure that we move the ball quick enough. Like sometimes we've been creating loads of chances, but there's moments where it's like, hold on a sec, just play that extra pass, just go forward. And we're still kind of a little bit at times going, oh, let's go backwards. And that comes with our dropping off. When we score a goal, we go 1-0 up, we're still dropping back. Why are we still dropping back? Yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to go hell for leather and try and score a second goal instantly. It just means keep the pressing up a little bit. Stop them having that moment where we go, we've conceded, let's go for a goal, which is we always concede after we've scored. Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's why I was making the link to Southgate, not in terms of style of play or anything, but it feels like England in the summer. Sorry, please. All right, so it feels like England, not like Southgate, in that we play really well when we've gone behind, or we play well for a moment in the match. Like, if you think back to England this tournament, right? Yeah, that first game, we played well for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
We played well for 10 minutes, we got in front, we slack off. Then every time we went behind, we'd come back into it. So it's like, we've got the quality, we've got the talent, so just do it for fucking at least 70 minutes, 60 minutes, not 10 minutes each half. No. That's what it feels like.
I'm sorry. Did you watch the Euros? I don't think you did, because you gave Joe slack for that Man City comment. That is almost worse than that, because I'm sorry. We were losing to, Slovakia, and we spent 2 minutes where we couldn't get the ball out of our own half. Okay, with England, we basically shat the bed, played negative football until it was the dying embers, and then tactics went out the window, and we just went and actually used individual quality.
Well, that's one game, bro.
That was all of the games. It was a it was a
we didn't score late goals in all the games.
What didn't we score a late goal? What, for England?
Yeah, we did. In the one you mentioned, Slovakia.
Okay,
I'm talking about when
the
we
Bellingham
behind,
overhead
we
kick.
For 10
we
minutes.
Scored a late goal with Saka against Switzerland. That was an 81st minute equaliser.
It was 5 minutes after we'd scored, though. My point is, when England went behind, they play well. When Leeds go behind, we play well.
No, but England never started off games well before we conceded.
That's not true, though.
No, yes, it is true.
We'll go back to the
England
first game
England started shite every single game. We did nothing until it was the last second. Okay, at least we had some sort of style of. Oh, did you see England ever flipping have an opening 10 minutes where we had about 4 good chances?
No, we didn't. Well, I fucking did.
One game out of the entire tournament. First of all, I highly even dispute. Yeah, one game out of the entire tournament. No, mate. This is the most ridiculous. At the start. No.
Bro, I said to you at the start, the first 10 minutes, you're not listening, bro. You're not listening to me. Again, you like the chat. I said the first game, we played well for 10 minutes. Yeah? That's what I said. And then afterwards, when we've gone behind, we played well. That's what I was on about.
Okay, Slovakia we didn't. Switzerland we didn't.
I said the first
Didn't do it in
game
the
again. I've
semis.
just repeat myself. I said
Okay,
the
but
first
that's
game.
but you said England in general. You're now changing the goalpost to one game. That's a different story.
No, I said
But-
in the first game we played well for 10 minutes. That's what I said. And then when we'd gone behind. That's it.
Listen. Anyway,
You can go back and watch
it's
it.
not- I will, but no, listen, you're being harsh, man. The reason I'm saying this is you're being harsh. We did not play fucking negative Southgate football. I
I
watched
didn't
that. and I
say
wanted
that,
to-
though. I didn't
We-
say we played negative football.
Listen,
I
but
didn't.
no,
I
but all
promise
I'm
you I
saying is
didn't.
we
JT,
played-
I never said that, though. I promise
Okay.
I never said that because we
Okay,
played good
but
football. But my
the-
point is, we're playing it in pockets. 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes. That's all
I
said.
think that's harsh, though. I think we sat back a little bit, but defensively, we saw the fragilities that we had last season, yeah, and the chances that we were giving up in the back end of last season as Leeds fans, and we were all disgusted at it because we went on that crazy defensive streak, and then we had games where we were leaking goals left, right, and centre. Okay, but this game, we didn't give up too many chances. So sitting back a little bit wasn't necessarily the worst thing for us, I would say, because we didn't get all of the goals. If you look at our individual errors, as you said, Roden should have headed it out to touch. You learn that in Sunday League level. You don't head it back into the congested middle area of the pitch. Individual players didn't close him down. Meslier should have saved that chance. Fucking Bogle should not be rear naked choking someone in your own 18-yard box. These are simple individual mistakes that we're making. So I don't think that we did sit off too much. I don't think that we did defensively create us problems. And I thought we were still enough of a threat going forward. And I think comparing us to that abomination that we witnessed in the Euros is a bit harsh.
There's a difference
I'm
between
sorry. I apologize.
There's a difference between he's not comparing us exactly and saying minute for minute, second for second. That's exactly what happened. He's just saying that one similarity that you could draw is that there were patches of good form, patches of good performance, and they didn't last long enough.
Yeah. Forget about the comparison, right? Forget about the comparison. But can we have a talk about why we only play well for them small bits then?
It's until we score a goal. I
If
genuinely
that's what you feel like, maybe listen. As I said, I'll happily take that on board. If you feel like there was patches, but like, what patches would you say we specifically fell off for? Do you think after the strike goal?
No, we scored in the first 10 minutes, then we dropped off and allowed Portsmouth to get back.
It wasn't
in
that
the game.
he's not saying that we were terrible or that
No,
we were
no.
It's just that we didn't play the same. We decided to change the way we're playing when it's a winning formula. This
It
is what
becomes
I
more
don't get.
pedestrian, doesn't it? It becomes slower.
We've scored and gone 1-0 up after putting the pressure on to score that goal. And it's almost like, oh, right, we finally scored a goal. Now let's sit back. No, you don't have to be going hell for leather, like giving the opposition chances to counterattack you and playing like in their box the entire time. But there's a certain level of like controlling the ball and being up in their faces and pressing them to stop them being able to play football, because you're essentially saying, right, we've scored, go on, you have a little go now, see if you can score against us. And then we concede and we're like, oh, how's that happened? It's like, because we've allowed them back into the game. Why are we going? Why are we getting a little envelope, stamping it and going, there you go, there's your invitation. There's your invitation to go and try and score a goal against us. Why are we allowing them the time and space to have those opportunities?
And what I would also say in response to that, just to like sort of we scored what time did Nonto score?
It was
46 minutes.
Half time started, wasn't it?
46 minutes. Can you remember the next chance after that?
Yes, Mateo
A
Joseph.
long way after that, though. That's my point. So we did this last season. That's what I'm saying. Last season we did that as well. Like we would start like a house on fire. Playoff final, Southampton, first 10 minutes we were unreal. Then it went.
The reason why I think so, that 46th minute goal from Nonto, the reason we didn't have a chance for ages after that is because we scored. Like if Nonto hadn't have scored that, I think we would have kept playing really, really well until we'd scored a goal.
Yeah.
Get what I mean? Like, keep the pressure up, keep attacking. We're having chances, we're in the post, we're in the bar. And then it's like, oh, finally we've scored. Okay, everyone sit back, everyone get in position, let's defend. But because he scored straight away, everyone went, okay, we can do that immediately. But no, we scored a goal. Play, even if you like, okay, so why don't you play for half of both half like that? Like if you're gonna sit back a little bit and conserve energy and try and manage the game, let's say that's what they're trying to do. Why not do it for half of each half? So the first half, start fast. If we'd have gone for 20 minutes, I feel like we might have scored 2 goals, and then we might have scored 2 goals in the second half at the start.
Do you know what as well, Max? Right, I've just gone on SofaScore. Right,
yeah.
Get this. This is perfect of what's saying. Yeah, so. Shot 4th minute, shot 5th minute, shot 5th minute, shot 7th minute, shot 10th minute. We score. Next shot, 25th minute.
Yeah.
That's 15 minutes.
Completely sums it up.
That's a definite drop-off.
But it is, but there's also another side to that. If you concede a goal, you're also more likely to be incentivized to take the game to the opposition and to fix things up. There's another side to it. After we score, Portsmouth are suddenly no longer in the lead. You could also say the Nonto goal. Yes, we attacked well when we were behind, but Portsmouth maybe also allowed us to come onto it more. Their fans could probably be saying, why did we wait until we conceded before we decided to start trying to take a bit more assertiveness in the game?
We let them in, man.
But there's two ways to look at it. If you watch
that game after we scored, we distinctively go, like Max has said. That's where I see though. Honestly,
that's fair enough. Listen, that's fair enough. I'm not saying you're an idiot. I think you have a point, but I don't think it's as dramatic as people are saying. Because listen, I think we've also been spoilt by Bielsa and the way that we used to play, and where we would be winning and we would still go hell for leather. It's very rare you find managers that do that nowadays. You don't. Because you end up leaking goals. And today, the goals we gave away were all stupid individual mistakes. They weren't systematic errors, in my opinion, in terms of the goals we gave away. So if we don't make those mistakes, if Meslier doesn't palm it into his own goal, maybe we keep that 1-0. Maybe we have a few less chances. Maybe we convert those chances and it's 2-0 and it's 3-0. That's how football's played, man. It's not always going to be going hell for leather and battering a team 4 or 5-0. That's not realistic in this campaign with the players that we have.
But that's what I was saying. I'm saying we don't have to, but there's a happy medium between pressing the life out of the opposition and absolutely running yourself ragged and backing off as much as we do. There's a medium ground where we control the ball. We do play a little bit higher up the pitch. We don't drop as deep. We still play high up the pitch. We still try and keep the ball. We still try to contain them. We don't necessarily have to, like you say, go flying at them and open up loads of opportunities at the other end. But I think there's a medium ground. I don't think we have to back off as much as we do. And I don't think we have to go crazy pressing at them. But there's a medium ground where you go, okay, let's control this. Let's keep our structure, but let's keep our structure a bit higher up the pitch. Incentivize them to send long balls, which we can deal with so easily, which is what we've been doing all pre-season. Get in their faces, force them back to the goalkeeper. They send it long. Rodon wins the header. We've got the ball back again. They did that a lot in this game, but we also then allowed them too much space. It's frustrating to watch because it has been happening for so long.
And that's why, I need to get out of the road. I think for me, like, I was expecting so much, and I don't think it's wrong to have such high expectations this season. So to see, I know we could look, if Brendan scores, it's another day, and I'm probably it is what it is, but he didn't, and we've drawn, and I'm just disappointed. I can't lie. I am. I think it's not good enough. It's not because I watched Sheffield, right, and I hate to make this comparison. I watched Sheffield United last night. They did the business. They were shit.
Yeah, but they scored twice from a shitty deflected thing and from an opposing goalkeeper error.
Did they get 3 points?
Across a season, you're not going to rely every single week. Yeah,
did they get 3 points?
Yesterday they did. But over a season, it's performances that matter, and that's what turns into points. You can't rely on a deflection every single week for it to happen.
No, of course, and they won't need to, though. That's the point. And maybe I am being a little bit hot, but I think they got the business done, and we haven't.
But it's as you said, it's the beginning of a 46 campaign. It's not knockout football. This is not knockout football. Knockout football, you can play the way Southgate did. I'm not even trying to rehash that. I'm saying you can play that kind of negative football. You can rely on deflections. You can rely on luck because it's 7-8 games. It's knockout. All that matters is the result. In a league campaign, performances are more important. We're going to play over 50 games this season, including cup games. And yes, okay, things might not go your way, but as long as the blueprint is there, as long as it looks like the team knows how to play, eventually your luck will change. Our luck wasn't in today. We missed big chances. We didn't have the rub of the green.
Look, man.
But we did. We put ourselves in the right
chances.
position. No, we
it's
can't.
It's the same as last season, man. We can't keep doing this because guess what? Come game 46, we'll still be in this fucking division.
Yeah, but
we
listen,
can't afford to.
Well, yeah, because we'll be in the
can't.
next division next season.
Well, listen, mate, you can't blow teams away every single game. Listen, if we're saying this in 10 games,
I thought we did blow them away minus score.
We did.
Did we blow? Did?
But
right,
I'm
okay,
talking
so
scoreline wise. I'm talking scoreline wise. I'm saying, listen, our luck wasn't in. Our luck wasn't in. Listen, I thought the actual like blueprint of the way we were playing was good. It's just finishing that let us down. It's just
so
finishing.
How do we change that?
Recruitment. You can't. It's no tactics behind it.
If you think you're getting another striker, it ain't happening. You
No,
get
not a striker, but you need it. Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. Bring a world-class winger in who can win you games.
So Johnny Rowe. Let's say it's Johnny Rowe.
Yeah.
Do you start him over Nonto?
Would you start him over Nonto? I bring the top midfielder and him.
Right, but let's be realistic though. Are we going to do that? We might bring an 8. That's fair enough. But you know, I think.
I don't think we can blame anything on recruitment. When you look at our side,
exactly,
look at the squad. The squad's unbelievable.
It's weaker than it was
for
last year.
For a championship. It's what?
It's weaker. Our starting 11 is weaker than it was last season.
Only because we've not got Crescencio Somerville.
Exactly. So if we didn't get up last season,
Nonto's now playing in his preferred position. He scored a goal from that position, doing the exact move that Crescencio Somerville does, coming off the left, cutting inside. But instead of bending it in the top corner, he's given the goalkeepers the eyes and put it in the bottom corner. That's exactly what you want from that winger. I also thought he was good pretty much all game until he was taken off Nonto. I'm happy to see him in that role. I think you bring in a Jonathan Rowe and he can play left side, he can play right side, and he basically backs you up. At first, look, he's cost a lot of money, so he's probably going to have to start. But at first, I think he sits on the bench for a little bit, then he gets his way into the team, and it's probably for Dan James on that right-hand side. And then I think you have Nonto and you have Rowe on the left and on the right. Nonto's preferred position is that left-hand side. We didn't see that last season, but I'm already seeing things from him that go, do you know what? The perfect Somerville replacement was already in the club. He's doing the Somerville things. He's cutting inside. He's coming inside the box and he's putting the ball in the back of the net. He's already scored in his first game of the season, doing exactly what Somerville did. And I think he played well throughout the game. I think if you look at our squad, it's people who are lower down in the league, like a Portsmouth or anyone who's like, I don't know, any of those teams that are kind of going to finish mid-table or lower, they're going to look at us and go, are they complaining about their squad? Have you seen it?
Yeah,
you've got £35 million Jorginho Rutter, £22 million Brendan Aronson. Yes, okay, you might say he's maybe not worth that now. He overpaid, but on paper, come on. Like if our squad says the exact same as it is now, we should still be getting promoted.
No, because you're saying you're saying the only reason it's not weaker is Somerville. Somerville was head and shoulders our best player.
So you don't think we should get promoted with this squad, JT?
Listen, the only reason we were even in the conversation last year was because of one person. It was Somerville. Somerville won us about 10 to 12 games by himself. And to say he didn't is scratching your memory away. He was the man. And to say Nonto's a replacement for him, we had Nonto and Somerville in the same side. Yes, Nonto might have improved his performances a bit by playing in his natural favourite position, but he was still very impressive cutting in from the right-hand side. And Somerville, I tell you, if he's in that game today, he bags 2-3 goals, because there was an amount of times when Nonto cutting in that position and did the same trailer near post shot, yes, it got him the goal, but he also missed 2 or 3 chances like that. He is not comparable to Crescencio Somerville. We didn't have enough quality to win. League? Listen, that's not the point. I'm not saying that's the point. I'm saying we don't have as good of a squad as we had last season.
But what you're saying,
you're changing the goalpost.
If you've got to look at both sides of the coin. Yeah. Whilst you're saying that Crescencio Somerville, you can't scratch out what he did for us last season. He was unbelievable. Yes, he was. But you're also remembering him with a bit of rose-tinted glasses, as if he is Lionel Messi and that every chance that came to him he finished. He also would miss a lot of chances. The multiple chances came into him in a game like that. he probably scores one and misses a couple like Nonto. He's not the best player in the world. He's a very good footballer, and he played very well for us last season. But he also was missing chances. He also went a streak of games without scoring in which other players pulled their weight and scored goals. I think there's going to be more goals from all round. I think we're going to get more goals from the striker this season. I think it's Mateo Joseph. Look, he missed a few sitters, but I think he's a little bit nervous. I think it was his first game. I think you've got to give him a chance to play some more 90 minutes, Mateo Joseph, and he will bag us goals. Also, just something that Joe mentioned at the start, looking at our fixtures, and it does look a little bit worrying when you've done that. But I just don't even think the Championship necessarily works like that, does it? Like anyone can beat anyone on the day. We might really struggle against Portsmouth in terms of the scoreline, draw 3-3, save it at the death, and then we might go and smash West Brom 4-0. You just don't know, do you? And especially with the players that we've got, we're always capable of pulling something out the bag. I think we drew our first game last season. Yes, we had worse players at that point, but let's not write off Portsmouth. Portsmouth had a very, very good season. And we've learnt now via Ipswich not to underestimate teams that are getting promoted from League One, because it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad side. They were really, really good last season under the BTEC, Jose Mourinho, John Mousinho. Look, I'm not. People are going to come at me in the comments now. I can already hear it. Someone said before, it's not as if we were playing Liverpool at Anfield. No, I'm not saying they're the best team in the world.
Whose bird's that, by the way?
Yeah.
That would be my dog's toy. That's why I keep.
All right. I thought it was a bird tweeting. I was like, cheep, cheep, cheep.
Nope. That's why I had
nowadays.
to keep hiding my mic.
Okay. Right, let's finish on some super chats. Daryl says 0 blame to him for the loss, but Bamford's control and contribution was woeful. Yeah,
he was on for like 5
He's
minutes.
not an impact sub though, is he? That's not what he is.
Oh, he could be. He was an impact sub in that Brentford game, and then he got injured, knee sliding.
Right? Let's not. Yeah. Stats don't win games or determine the points won. They don't. You're right, Mr. P. It's all about putting the ball in the net. 1 point to a newly promoted side at home to start the season should put Farker on the hot seat. Slow start done as last year. No excuses. Max, you nodding. You not nodding. You're wagging your head. Shaking your head. I'm all over the shop, man. And I know this might sound mad. I'm not doing this forever. I've said I want us front and centre from game week 1. He can't have him. What I will say, he can't have an August like he did last year. He's got to win the next game now. He's got to win the next.
His August has got to be better, hasn't it?
100%.
Yeah, but it's Daniel Farker, isn't it? Like he's the most successful Championship manager there is, and we're going to finish on 90 plus points and get promoted. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll say this tomorrow at the minute. I mean, I was winning the league. We're going to slap them up 3-0 and all this sort of stuff. Oh. Joe, did you have something you wanted to say, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I did a very quick bit of maths. In a football season, there are 4,140 minutes of football played. It's the equivalent of watching a 100-meter sprint. Someone gets very, very slow out of the blocks for the first 2 meters, is maybe somewhere in the middle of the pack and saying, it's done. Fuck it. Replace them completely. Take off their shoes. New shoes. We need to replace everything about their gear. It's fine. We're 2 meters into this race. We will be okay.
If you don't have a fast start, though, in a 100-meter, you're pretty fucked, aren't you?
If I remember right, Usain Bolt was never leading out of the blocks for any of his...
But if I remember rightly, Usain Bolt is the fastest man that ever lived.
And if I remember right, there's still 45 matches to go in the season, so we'll find out.
Leeds are the best team the Championship has ever seen.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Liam Moore, appreciate the live stream. Hopefully the players have a rocket up. Then Aronson saved us, and I'm sure Preston were still drunk from their summer off. Yeah, they were poor, maybe I'm making wild, but yeah, I'm just disappointed and down. Champs Bro, thank you very much. Right. Yes. John says, Joe, mate, behave yourself. What? Well,
I agree. Behave yourself, mate. Behave yourself.
Yeah, behave
you don't know which one he's talking to be fair.
Oh,
yeah, actually. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Who are you talking to?
Yeah. I think he's probably still talking to
you. Probably me, yeah. Yeah. If, just to finish up, this is to finish up now, because I know you've all got lives.
I've already uploaded it, mate.
If Darlow has a good game against Borough, does he start against West Brom?
No, because last season, every time he played a game of football, he couldn't pass a fucking ball more than 4 meters.
He also, mate, he
That's an
can't use
awesome
his
joke.
hands or his feet, mate. I don't even play him in the midweek.
Someone was calling for Alex
Game time.
Cairns.
Yeah,
I'd rather that than bloody than Carl Darlow. I tell you that, man. Mate.
Everyone's saying no. I don't need to ask the rest. It's just a discussion point, but hey ho.
Great chat, lads. Great chat.
Yeah,
Wow.
great chat. I'm obviously
Shakespearean
a lot
esque.
more. I need to maybe check my things. I'm being a lot more critical than you.
Check
lot
your
about
hard
that, so
drive.
I will. I need to check my thinking. So anyway, with that note, we will leave it there. Listen, I want you to go over and check out Joe B. I want you to go check out Max Leeds lately, who's just said his post-match is out. Make sure you check out JT as well. Thanks for watching today. It's been a long old day, but Leeds United unfortunately have disappointed us once again. Hopefully on Wednesday they can get back to winning ways and we can get a run in the cup, because Farker likes a run in the cup. So let's hope that happens. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, peeps. Bye bye now. Cheers.